ワンピースは実在する。
俺はモンキー D ルフィ。お前らを超えて海賊王になる男だ。
人の夢は終わらねえ。
Welcome
to Nerdville.
We'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
The Toshi no Mi has proven itself to be one of the most versatile and powerful devil fruits in One Piece. Has Bonnie become Nika's sidekick like in DC Comics, having a facsimile of Nika's power? It seems very likely that she will join the crew, filling in the last missing role of Cabin Girl. It's been 27 chapters, but our idea of the giant robot of dreams saving the day because of recognizing Luffy as Joy Boy has finally come true.
Good job!
In this video, we will cover all that we just discussed, as well as giving you ideas as to what the name Ameth could potentially mean.
If you haven't become a citizen of Nerdville yet, how about giving it a whirl and subscribing to enjoy more One Piece reviews and theories? Let's expand on Bonnie and her crazy OP devil fruit. The revelation that she has become Nika-like with her fruit is insane. It could potentially allow her to become like any character in One Piece. What if she wants an elder's future? Could she have their abilities? Another example is that she could ask for a future where she is the Pirate King, becoming as strong as Roger. But let's not forget that her fruit has other amazing abilities, where she can change her age, allowing flexibility in her environment, and could be a great escape tool, like using it when Marines are pursuing you, becoming old so they couldn't recognize you. The other part of the age fruit is that she can turn people into babies or old people, effectively one-shotting them. It's reminiscent of Sugar that could render the strongest opponent into puppets. Bonnie similarly could turn strong opponents into babies, turning maybe the strongest people in One Piece useless. She can also use armament haki, which is crazy. She is so young and can use the haki so well. We know that most characters take a long time to develop their haki, so Bonnie achieving this now is incredible.
Could it be that her achieving this level of haki is because of her inspiring herself from Luffy's Gear 5 form? In this case, could she achieve Shanks levels of haki if she yelled out, "Show me a future where I have red hair and I'm the strongest"? It could be interesting as we have never seen her use haki before. This 12-year-old, who is not only able to wield haki, but also commands some of the most powerful flunkies in the series, the Pacifistas, is absolutely nuts. Bonnie has the power to have one of the best crews in the One Piece world, not only adding Pacifistas, but let's not forget Esper or Kuma that is still alive. This begs the question, what is Bonnie going to do next? In this chapter, we see her actively fighting together with Luffy and the crew as well. Previously in our 1106 review, we had discussed the possibility of Bonnie joining the crew, as well as exploring a potential origin story for the giant robot of dreams. If you haven't watched that video, be sure to check it out. Because Bonnie has become such a massive threat to the world government, it made sense for Bonnie to join the Straw Hats, since she would need their protection moving forward. This is because she has the highest authority when it comes to pacifistas that resemble Kuma, her father. It is not only because Bonnie needs a safe place to protect her from the world government, but because us as One Piece fans have always wanted to see the role of Cabin Boy or Cabin Girl be filled on the Straw Hat crew, much like Shanks was Roger's. When you look at Roger and Shanks, being a cabin boy was similar to being an apprentice, or Padawan, given how similar Shanks and Roger's ideologies and fighting styles are.
We had believed during the previous saga that Momo would be the one to fill that role. Given how close Momo and Luffy were, having a sort of master-student relationship, and given the fact that he is the right age. He is, unfortunately, not eligible anymore, since he has become the Shogun of Wano. Bonnie, however, makes so much sense for this position. She is 12, so the age seems about right for what we saw with Buggy and Shanks. And because of her father's teachings, she also worships Nika, so her learning from him would make a lot of sense. Younger kids idealizing their future masters is something that is common in anime, like in My Hero Academia or Hunter x Hunter. We have seen that Luffy has started to teach her a bit when he showed her how to punch by pummeling Saturn with a Dawn Gatling. Not only this, but Luffy also refers her by name, not with a nickname, which is usually something reserved for close friends or crewmates. Seeing Luffy and Bonnie in their Nika forms made us think of superheroes in the DC comics, where in DC, most superheroes generally have a sidekick with the same powers, and the sidekick is also a kid, like with Robin, Kid Flash, Aqualad, Superboy, and many more. But what makes this even more likely is that the crew is already treating her like a member. In this chapter, it's demonstrated with Sanji and Frankie hyping her up to hurt Luffy, which is not surprising since they get hurt by him all the time. Sanji seems to be taking a commander type role, with him telling her Captain's orders are absolute. Only between crew members would a moment like that occur.
Later on in this chapter, we also notice that Jupiter is spitting out all the CP agents and Seraphims, and could be a big misstep from the Elder, since, as we said before, Bonnie seems to be able to control any of Kuma's clones. Yes, this includes S-Bear, since he looks like Kuma. Having S-Bear turn against them could be a massive blow to their forces, given how powerful the Seraphim are. On top of that, this could be another potential escape route for Bonnie apart from the Straw Hats, since she would be able to teleport to safety with her father or S-Bear. We do strongly believe that Bonnie will join the Straw Hats. But another option could be her joining the Grand Fleet later on with her own crew of pacifistas, much like Momo will do with the Nine Scabbards. The only option for her to do this without Luffy and the gang would be to have Kuma teleport her and S-Bear to where the revolutionaries are, since it is the only other group that Kuma and Bonnie have ties with, and they would be able to keep her safe and hidden until she amasses enough pacifistas to make a powerful crew. It seems unlikely that Bonnie will join the revolutionaries officially though. In Kuma's backstory, she always stated that she wanted to be a pirate.
Finally, Oda, the king of teasing, ends the chapter with what we've been talking about for 27 chapters. The giant robot of dreams rescuing the Straw Hats. We potentially have a name reveal for this robot, being Emeth. In the penultimate page of this chapter, while Walker dives in to destroy the giant ship, the robot emerges from the ocean, talking to himself, recognizing Joy Boy's haki once again. The thing that's interesting to point out here is that Luffy seems to react to Emmeth's thoughts, probably using the voice of all things.
The final page of the chapter is a bit confusing though. We will explore 3 different options of what we think it could mean. First of all, at face value, it seems that Emmeth is remembering a conversation he had with Joy Boy before he disappeared, mentioning that there would be a specific time for him to act. So sensing Joy Boy's presence triggered Emmeth's memory of this conversation. The second option would be, unfortunately, something that is a bit of a common trope in anime and fiction, which would be that Joy Boy is currently speaking to Emmeth through Luffy. This would be quite similar to My Hero Academia if you watched that show, or Dragon Quest The Avengers of Dai. Much like the Quirk One for All or the Dragon Quest of the Dragon Knights, perhaps a vestige of Joy Boy's consciousness resides in the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika. This is not an idea we particularly like, as it is quite generic, but it could explain how certain Devil Fruit users retain personality traits, like Sabo, Big Mom, or Luffy for example. The last option is the least likely, but what if it's Zunisha speaking to Emmeth? We know that Zunisha senses Luffy's Gear 5 transformation, and that it was roaming around Wano, so it is possible that Zunisha is close enough that they could communicate with Emmeth through the voice of all things. They might be trying to explain the situation, or to remind him of a conversation that they had with Joy Boy in the past. It would make sense that Zunisha and Emmeth could talk to each other, since they share a connection to Joy Boy and seem to react similarly to his return.
That leads us to the word Emeth. That seems to be a name for the giant robot. When we researched the name, we came across some references that seems to match what the giant robot represents. The word Emeth in Hebrew means true or truth, often in the context relating to God's truth or the faithfulness. This would make sense as a name for the giant robot, because of it waiting faithfully for Joy Boy's return, staying true to his master or God. And the word also ties in to Jewish mythology or tradition about how to make a golem, an artificial creature created by magic. Once it has physically been created with either dirt or clay, the creator had to inscribe the word Emeth on the forehead of the golem to bring it to life. This seems similar to what we have discussed in our chapter 1106 review, about how Joy Boy may have brought the giant to life with his haki. Also, the fact that golem in Jewish mythology is formed with clay or dirt is similar to what we have discussed in our last theory video about the myth of Prometheus and its correlation with the Void Century. In the myth of Prometheus, he had created humans by forming them out of clay to bring them to life. We have already discussed the correlation between this myth and the story of One Piece before, so be sure to check it out at the end of the video. Perhaps the iteration of Prometheus in One Piece, being most likely Joy Boy or Nika, created giant creatures much like the Titans that he once was part of. This could explain the similarities between Imeth and Zunisha, as they could have been both creations of Joy Boy to pay homage to the Titans.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. By the way, if you haven't watched our last theory video and you happen to click on this one, go watch it. It's great. So, help us out. Why don't you?
Do you like this type of video as opposed to our previous chapter reviews? Let us know in the comments below. Positive or negative, we need the engagement. The videos we mentioned earlier will be linked at the end. Check them out.
Peace out.